So I just recorded this video, of course. There was no audio, and I found out the recording quality looks like ass. So I'm gonna have to do this again. But here's the trade I took today. I made $870 on it, and I finally passed 2 combines on my own. And I say on my own because this one right here, that is cooked, by the way. Today cooked it because I tried to do some bullshit. Because the balance was like $3 and it was just sitting there, so I tried to select long market open and it just ended up blowing it. But that one was deep in the trenches. September beat my ass on that account. But yeah, I finally passed these two on my own. And again, the other one, I was in the PB Trading Discord when Blake was doing his lives, and I basically signaled my way there and got a payout. I was in no condition, or like my trades were not as okay. My I was not that good at trading to get a funded account or even a payout. Definitely not a payout. Because right when he stopped doing the lives, I did learn a lot from the lives, but I was on my own and I had to learn I had like no discretion basically because, why would I? I was just basically copying his trades. I was taking my own here and there, but my trades were not that good by myself. But you know what? A little over a month later, I passed these 2 accounts on my own. So now I'm on the Express. I'm going to start trading these next week. So I hope that goes good. But here's the trade that I took today to pass those accounts right here. It was basically just a 1-minute SMT in a 15-minute and also a 5-minute, delivering to these relative equal highs. You could have, stretched this take profit all the way up here, but I just went for here, around 1.25, because that's all I needed to pass my evals. Yeah, 1-minute inverse coming out of those. I was bullish in the day towards all-time highs, and I got my little piece of the pie. It didn't really play out past that. It just played out to here, so that's all right. If you did try to get like 2R on this, you would have just gotten stopped to break even, or if you trailed. But let's go into why I took it. Now I already kind of did this, but where's the hello? Let's go to here. Actually, I will go more back to market open. So this is right around the time market is opening. Right off open, we pump up, and we SMT at this Asia and London relative equal highs. As you can see, ES took those out right off market open. I was kind of hoping that would be my target for the day, so I didn't have to go all the way to all-time highs, but I ended up catching my trade anyway. But as you can see, boom, more pumpage going up, and NQ eventually takes out those relative equal highs, and pump up a little bit more. All-time highs is right there. I'm like, all right, well, we're going to take all-time highs, and everything is going to be cooked unless we get a pullback. But right before we take it, we pull all the way back down here. In the process, we create this 5-minute and another 5-minute. I was really wanting to see a reaction off this one because it is more because it is in the discount of this delivery leg. This top one, it really all depends if it like barely tips it or like ticks it and then goes up, but it ran through it, so I'm like, you know what, now we gotta wait for this one. And also in the process, we eventually open up a 15-minute right here if the price could play out to do so. Not yet, but right here, delivering off of this 5-minute, you could have taken this. I mean, it's not really like good because you didn't hit this bottom one, but if you thought, we're at all-time highs, we're just gonna leave liquidity, I just didn't think that because yeah, we're at all-time highs, but we are also edging this 5-minute on both pairs. As you can see, We came super close on both, but neither of them hit it. If we had an SMT there, sure, this probably would have worked out. But this trade didn't work out. We ended up, holy shit. Yeah, this trade did not end up playing out. We kind of push up into this big gap. This gap holds and we deliver lower. We do hit this this 5 minute now. As you can see, we hit that 5 minute and we also hit a 15 minute. So I'm like, all right, this could be really good to take a long off of. Unfortunately though, we don't get an inverse here. Price just chops around. I'm thinking, all right, we could get an inverse here, but there's no SMT, so I couldn't enter anyway. You know, my way I enter is there has to be an internal SMT. So we're gonna chop around, blah blah blah. We push below this intermediate low in that 15 and 5 minute, and right around here, ES takes out this low, but NQ doesn't. So we have an SMT. So I'm like, all right, we're in a 5 or 15 or whatever gap. We're in a fair value gap. Our bias is higher. We pull back away from it. We have an SMT internally. So now we just got to wait for an inversion. And right here, I'm like, all right, highest time frame. Pretty sure it was a 1 minute. So there was a 30-second you could have played off of. Damn, that 30-second would have been a better entry, but it doesn't matter. I still did get my entry off of this 1 minute right here. Boom, get the 1 minute close. I'm like, all right, this is super valid. We have a, so we have a 30-second inverse, but we also have a 1 minute inverse. So now this is like super good. I'm super confident in this. All-time highs above, inverse towards all-time highs, SMT at the low, in a 15-minute gap. This is A+. So right around here, I enter with 15 micros, stop loss below the swing, take profit right around here. I just need like 860. I ended up making like 870, so boom, confirm. That was my take profit, because 870 is all I needed to pass the account. And right after I enter, get a nice candle, I go break even right now. We do pull back into this 1 minute gap, and I'm like, dude, if I get break even right now, that is ridiculous, because we will deliver higher at some point. But we end up respecting it strongly, moving up, and right around here, take profit hits, pass the accounts, bang, super nice trade, super A+. Now that I'm looking at that 30-second, the entry wouldn't have been much different. That is definitely something I have to watch for. We did get a 30-second inverse with a double, we had an SMT at these wicks, SMT over here. So that 30-second would have been a little bit of a better entry. Let's see if there's a 15-second. Yeah, it's the same close as the 30 though. But yeah, very nice trade. No, I can't complain about that. But then we never actually ended up running all-time highs, or these right here. We ended up just dumping 700 points. Oh my god. We are still dumping. That is crazy. At least we're not going to be trading all-time highs come Monday. We will be trading. Holy shit. We haven't been down here in a minute. But yeah, no more all-time highs trading, which is great. But this is also kind of concerning. Dumping that many points in a single day, almost 1,000 points, is crazy. The biggest dump I've seen in my trading, because I've only been trading since May 20th, so I'm like 5 months in. But I study this stuff more than like 90% of people, I feel like. Yeah, P&L for the P&L for the the EVAL. I did take a little trade in Asia, so I made like 290 right here. That was the Asia trade. Same thing, SMT 30-second inversion, bang. All that. But yeah, it's been going pretty good. I just started this new trade journal, so I'm gonna be tracking all my trades here. And yeah, that is how I made 870 on my accounts and passed my first set of expresses. Now I have 2 expresses. The OG Express, that thing is gone. But now I have 2 new ones, and hopefully I can get a payoff from these. Not hopefully, I will get a payoff from these. Gotta stay confident in everything you do. Yeah, that's all I gotta say. I'm gonna stop yapping. Hopefully the recording doesn't look like ass, and I have my audio. So I will see y'all next week, potentially.